and we feel that we are getting stronger, we won't lose motivation.
Yeah, I'm thinking now. What I sometimes do puzzles on Lichess, and they're rated, and when I can gradually see the rating go up, I feel more
More
motivated to
enthusiastic.
keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then staying on the topic of chess improvement, there are many amateur players out there who don't have the time to train 10 hours a day. If they have, say, only 1 hour a day, what would you say is the best use of that time for best efficiency in terms of chess improvement?
So there are two different approaches. One, so first we need to identify the important topics where we need to get better. Now, for an aspiring professional, someone wants to become a 2700 player, let's say, or a grandmaster, let's say. In that case, we all have a starting point. We start either as a positional player, more positionally inclined, uh, or aggressive, like attacking players. And the third category is universal, who are comfortable in either of the situations. But most of us are heavily inclined to either positional or attacking. Now, this will be our starting point. So, usually, what one of the common mistakes players do is just stick to the strength. So, let's say if I'm a positional player, then I may tend to exchange pieces, go to end game, avoid complications, may not take risks when required, and generally feel uncomfortable in risky situations where I don't have control. Situations where I don't have control over what's happening, I may not feel comfortable, and my quality of analysis will drop down drastically. And when this happens, when we have become more aware that this is the kind of player I am, we tend to form a smaller circle and stay within it. So start studying games of players like Smyslov, Karpov, Petrosian, and so on. I see games only of positional players. I will avoid seeing games, let's say, like Tal or Shirov,
It's
because
important to be universal.
yes. So, but initially, like you can stick to your strength. You try to become stronger in whichever area you feel comfortable at. This can be done by studying good players in those areas. There are good middle game books. You can go through them and analyzing positions in that aspect of the game. And once you feel reasonably confident, let's say you start as a positional player, you work a lot on your positional chess, and then after 1 or 2 years, you feel my positional chess is quite good at a reasonably healthy level. Then it's time to focus on the aspects which are very contrary to our nature. Let's say on complications, taking risk, sacrificing material, playing in positions with imbalanced material, and so on. And so we don't develop an aversion to those things. Any area which we avoid over a period of time, we start hating those areas, and we think like I'm not good at this, so I should avoid these things. And the more we go in this direction, we'll eventually become weak in those areas, and our opponents will go through our games and they can easily identify where we are not doing well, and they will try to take us there more often. So this is for the professional player. So eventually you have to work on all the areas. So for this you should know, okay, so I'm a positional player, I also want to learn attacking chess. Now what are the different topics I should learn within attacking style, and what are the different topics I have to learn in positional style, so I can become universally good. So I would say the major areas a chess player, a professional, aspiring professional should focus on and get better at. I would say first is the opening phase. Although it's not very important till you are like 23, 2400 of FIDE rating, you don't have to focus too much on openings. That's my personal view. And the other is calculation, extremely important because this will occur in opening, middle game, and end game, all phases of the game. So you have to have very good calculation skills. And third, I would say good attacking skills, because if you are a positional player and you are avoiding complications, when you get good opportunity to attack, we tend to exchange queens, go to an end game. So we should have good attacking skills. And fourth, I would say good positional skills. And fifth, converting advantage into wins, because many times we may play a good opening, get a slightly better position, but later we spoil it. So converting advantage into a win, the process of that technique has to be good. And the converse, which is defending in difficult situations, we are not always going to get pleasant or advantageous position.
Resilience. Yeah.
Yes, so we have to learn to fight back in difficult circumstances. And finally, end games. In end games, I would say theoretical and practical end games. So these are the broad areas where we need to improve in the long run.
Mhm.
So in the short run, we have to, so if you have 1 hour per day, now you can choose any area, whichever you like, or whichever you've been avoiding for very long, and then work on that area, maybe like, let's say, half an hour every day for the next 3 months.
Mhm.
So you can, so for the next 3 months, this particular area will be my focus. And when I put half an hour a day for 3 months, I should make a reasonably healthy progress in that area. And for the next 3 months, I can choose a different topic and so on. Now this 3 months is just a indication, it's not any
Mhm.
fixed criteria. So you can choose, maybe on a weekly basis you can change. So this week I will focus on positional chess, next week I'm going to focus on my calculation. It can be done in any manner the
Mhm.
player wishes to.
This is for the amateur players, or this is for the.
Yes, even for amateurs, like if they are making progress in their chess strength, it will keep them motivated and help them continue in this path for a longer period. Else, what will happen if you are not improving our chess strength, and if we don't feel like we are
This is
getting
for
any
the
better,
amateur players, or this
then
is for the.
our training routine will become even more haphazard. Maybe instead of working every day 1 hour, I will start working whenever I feel like, or
Mhm.
maybe it's like 2 days in a week I see chess and
Yeah.
so on.
So those 7 areas that you gave, some of them are quite self-explanatory how you improve. For example, calculation, you can dive into puzzles. I want to ask specifically on converting advantages and on defending positions. How do you work on those areas?
So in any area we want to progress, we should not just do the training in only one manner. Like you said, to improve calculation, we solve puzzles. So just solving puzzles will not improve our calculation. So calculation means basically we have to try to understand what we do while calculating. So while calculating, we try to see ahead in the future, right? So if I do this and my opponent plays this, I reply this, my opponent plays this. So we are seeing white move, black move, white move, black move, and we are trying to see what will happen if we go in this path. And then there are some branches and sub branches that are possible in some cases. So we are trying to see into the future. This is what we are trying to achieve, the objective of calculation. Now this is possible only when we don't move pieces on the board, because if you make a move on the board, it's present already, it's not in the future.
Mm.
So you have to make the moves in your head
Yeah,
and
visualize.
visualize it in
Mhm.
your head. What if we take this path, how it is going to evolve in the future. So one of the first things that we need to do, while keep in mind while solving puzzle, is not to move pieces. And the second is, just getting the first move of the puzzle is not enough. You have to find the complete answer.
Mhm.
So many players, if they get the first move right, they think they have solved the puzzle, and they see the remaining moves quickly on the screen or from the book or from the
Mhm.
website.
But
So
that's guesswork, really,
yes,
right? Yeah.
yeah. So you have to get the complete solution without moving pieces in your head.
Yeah.
And in many puzzles, one of the other common mistake many amateurs make is, while solving, they tend to find good moves for themselves and very bad move for the opponent.
Uh-huh.
So that way
Yeah.
they don't expect the opponent to resist. They simply expect the opponent
They
to
need to
fall into
find
our
the
trap.
best defense
Yeah,
as
they
well.
have to find the best defense for the opponent, and the solution should be complete. So these are the criteria one need to keep in mind while solving puzzle. And one of the dangers of solving puzzles online, like Lichess or chess.com, is that it will say white to play and win.
Yes.
We guess the
We
first
never
white
have
move,
in a
and
game. We
then
never have that flag, white to play and win, right?
yes, but that is there in the books as well. They give you the indication.
Yeah.
But I was coming to a slightly different point, which is, we make a guess on the first white move, and then we move it on the screen.
Mhm.
And then the computer, if it is right, it says good or whatever, and then it makes the second black move,
Mm.
right? So here we are not making an attempt to guess the opponent's reply for our move,
Mhm.
and we are not seeing ahead in the future. We are just guessing one move at a time. This will not improve our calculation skills, and that's why many players have high uh, puzzle solving rating, but their calculation skills are not
Right.
as
Right.
good.
Okay.
So you should never move pieces. Get the full answer in your head. Maybe it's better to write down the answer so you are committed to the answer, and then start making the moves. And if the moves are not matching with what you have written, then you already know you did not solve it right.
Sure.
So just getting the first move by guess is not enough. So this is just one way of improving calculation, solving puzzles. The second is you have to take games of players who are good in calculation. So most of the strong players are very good in calculation. So you have to study those players' games because throughout the game they are not calculating. Only at important moments they are calculating, and to sense when we have to calculate, when we should use positional principles and play the moves. So to learn this, it's better to see a full game, and wherever calculation is required, we do that. So analyzing games of players who are good in calculation is another important way to improve calculation.
You have a book on calculation as well,
I've
right?
written a book on
Yes,
calculation as well,
we'll
but
post the link.
it's called improving your chess calculation, but it's quite hard. It's probably for
Okay.
I have tried to analyze a position in depth for many
Yeah.
pages, multiple pages, but I would say those who are reading the book
You
to
have a book on calculation as well, right?
divide the material into multiple small pieces and take them in fragments and solve them independently. And those who are quite good in calculation, you can try to do the whole thing in your head. So analyzing solving puzzles, analyzing complicated games of players who are good in calculation is a very good way. Third is to solve studies or compositions. They are very useful in improving our calculation. But the main difference between composition and puzzles are from practical games.
Sure.
Compositions or studies are artificially composed positions. So they will not have even an extra pawn which is not required. So all the units will have a role in the
Yeah.
position, in the ultimate
Yeah, I
solution.
always felt like that was a bit of a hack to reverse engineer it by
Yes.
thinking, why is the pawn there? Because you wouldn't think
Yes.
that in a game, right?
Yeah. So and here in solving studies we will see like there is only one solution, not multiple. In some puzzles you can win in few different ways, but in studies there will be only one path, and only in one correct sequence it will work.
But you think they're still useful?
Very useful.
Uh-huh.
So if someone wants to improve their calculation apart from solving puzzles, I would also recommend to solve maybe 2 or 3 studies every day, because solving puzzles, you can solve puzzles anywhere from 1 minute to 10 minutes if they are very difficult. But to solve studies, it could take anywhere from 5 minutes to 45 minutes. So it will take much more time and effort to solve compositions, but they are fantastic way to improve calculation skills. So 1 to 3 studies per day will be ideal to solve. And the fourth way is to just take a good book on calculation and go through the positions, the explanations. So for any topic, I would recommend these 4 ways. One, reading from books on that topic. Two, studying and analyzing games of players who are good in that particular area.
Uh-huh.
So let's say prophylaxis. You can study Karpos games, Petrosian's games,
Kramnik.
and you can take a book on prophylaxis,
Yeah.
and then you can just see good positional games where these themes are coming repeatedly. So you have to do all the kind of training in any area. Now, it coming to conversion of advantage, let's say. So if I want to learn how to play from a better position, then one thing I can do is just let's say most of the strong players are good at this. Otherwise, they would not have become
Of
stronger.
course, yeah.
So let's say Kramnik. Now, what I can do, I can search for Kramnik's win games. Now, I can put Kramnik in chess base. You can put Kramnik in white, ignore colors, and then 1-0. You get all the white wins. And put Kramnik name in black and put 0-1. You get all the black wins. Now, put all these games in one folder. So now you have all the games where Kramnik won. And then you can just turn the engine on, go to a position where, let's say, Kramnik is white and it shows plus by minus, where he has a clear advantage. And then turn off the engine, close the notation so you don't see the moves. Now you have a position where white is clearly better and white is Kramnik. So you put yourself in Kramnik's situation where you have a clear advantage, and now you try to find Kramnik's moves. So similarly, you can do this for Karpov, Fischer, and so on, where once they get a clear advantage, from that point on, how they play. So
In terms of converting winning advantages, that's something I'm going to look at personally, because not converting winning advantages is something that has a big psychological effect on me and probably many players, right? When you get into a good position and you actually end up losing.
yeah.
But chess psychology is such a huge field, which I feel is severely underestimated. Could you maybe just share a little of your general thoughts on psychology and how you can help a player's psychology improve?
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, chess
Maybe just
psychology is
share a
something
little of your
vastly
general
neglected
thoughts
in,
on
and
psychology
it
and
is
how
seen
you
as
can
a separate field
prepare
apart from
for
chess
a good
training.
move.
So most of the chess coaches, they are focusing only on the technicalities of the game, like teaching them calculation, attack, and so on, openings, and so on. For me, a good trainer's role is to not only teach the technicalities, but more importantly, make them effective learners and who can learn chess by themselves. So instead of giving a hungry person fish, teach them to fish,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they can catch a fish whenever they are hungry. So that's the approach a good trainer should take. That's my view. So we have to teach them how to learn chess by themselves and in a more efficient manner. So this is very important. And there are many psychological barriers that come in the way of effective learning. One is if we are constantly um, trying to learn chess with a particular result in mind, aim in mind. For example, in the next tournament, which is coming after 1 month, I want to do well.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the reasons why many players are practicing. So here, what is happening? We will not do things which will help us in the long run. We will just do things which we believe will help me in the next tournament, right? To do better in the next tournament. I will restrict myself to doing only those things,
Mm.
and then the next tournament will come after 1 month. So I'll be doing things for that tournament, and
When
so on.
yes, I often have a danger of ending in that territory, and what I end up doing is 90% is openings.
Yes. Yeah, so because you can immediately see in the tournament whether what you have prepared is actually helping you
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
not. So I prepared this opening, and in this
Yeah,
game it
so-
came. So I feel my work has been productive
Mhm.
because I did something and it really happened in the game. But that's not how it should work because uh, to be a good chess player in the long run, you need to have multiple skills. So one of the primary objective for a player is like we all want good results, no doubt, and it's very important. But again, the good result is just the consequence of what has happened prior to that. It's like the salary that is employee receives. So it's like you work for 1 month and then you get the salary, right? But we should not be working for the salary. If we're just working for the salary, we will not be doing a productive job, right? So I should enjoy this work. I should feel I have to contribute, I have to grow, and in the process I get rewarded for my effort. So the good results should be reward for the good effort we have put. So the first thing is teaching the players that to learn chess effectively, to play chess effectively, from the player side they have to put a good effort. Now, I'm not saying in a casual effort, it's good effort. So, good effort means you are fully involved in that activity, you are very interested in that activity, you are immersed in that activity, and you forget everything else
Mhm.
that's happening around you.
Mhm.
So, you are so fully involved, interested, and immersed, and with that kind of effort, you
Mm.
have to train
So
while
playing
training.
Blitz with the TV on in the background doesn't count,
No,
right?
playing Blitz, I would say, is just for fun.
Yeah.
So when you're playing Blitz, you can watch TV, you can listen to music,
Uh-huh.
chat with your friends.
Perfect.
Is okay if you're not taking it as part of your training. If it is purely meant for fun,
Mhm.
and I would say some part of our chess training should be fun as well. It should not be too
Mhm.
serious because we cannot
Mhm.
sustain that seriousness for long and we'll get bored easily.
Mm.
So some part of our training has to be fun. So playing Blitz is, I would seriously welcome students to do that,
Mhm. But it
but it
doesn't
should
count
not be
as the
it's not a substitute for training,
right.
serious training.
Okay.
But when you are trying to solve a puzzle or solve a study or
Mhm.
analyze an interesting position or studying some good players games, so these are serious training. At this point you have to be kind of you have to isolate yourself from the normal life, um, and then focus fully on that activity, the training part. And the other barrier is our own self doubts, like would I become a good chess player or not, because there's no guarantee that
Mhm.
if we do these things we will end up becoming a good player. So there is no guarantee that our efforts will lead to progress, improvement in our chess
Of course.
strength,
Yeah.
and
That's
in
my
a
biggest
manner.
fear. I'm going to spend a year playing chess and
Yes.
my rating will go down.
And also like we may believe like we will improve, but will we improve to the extent we want? So let's say I'm 2400, I want to become 2600. Maybe I'll end up as 25, 2450. Then that's not enough for me, right? So this kind of self doubts, distractions, like for young boys, it's usually the video games,
But
social
is
media.
it correct to set that goal? So say I'm 2400 now. Should I be setting myself the goal I want to be 2600 in 2 years?
You can set up such goals
Yes.
in terms of
Yes.
rating or titles,
Yes.
like you want to
Yes.
become an IM or a GM and so on. These titles and ratings can be part of your goal, but the primary reason for setting a goal is to get ourselves a clear, better picture of what needs to be done
Mm-hmm.
to achieve this goal. I have to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
And can I do these things?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to find time to do these things? Am I interested enough to do these things? Because if I, let's say, if I want to become a 2600 player, I'm 2200 now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to become a 2600. No, I have to learn to defend in bad positions.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I cannot become a 2600 if I'm just going to lose in bad positions without putting up a resistance.
Mm.
So I have to learn to play in bad positions, which I may not like.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the important things in training we have to learn is to be willing to learn things which we don't like,
Mm.
and which we think is not important for me now, but it may be useful to me in the long run. So you have to take a long term perspective. So the aim will provide you a direction on what are the things you have to learn, and how much effort you have to put to learn these things, because you have to spend a lot of time in learning these things, and how many competitions you have to play to achieve these objectives. That means how are you going to manage your time between, let's say, your work and chess, or school and
Sure.
chess.
Sure.
So this time management we have to consider seriously. And how am I going to keep myself physically in good shape, emotionally in good shape? What is the mental attitude I need to have to what are the mental changes I have to make in myself, my attitude, my philosophy, so that my learning and performance becomes more efficient. All these factors need to be considered.
Mm-hmm.
So to get a very good picture on all these aspects, it's better to have an aim. But the higher the aim, more changes, more
Mm-hmm.
sacrifices we should be
But I
willing to make.
suppose they should be quite long term, right? There's no
It can
use.
be even 6 months,
6 months.
1 year,
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it
Yeah.
should be achievable. You
Yeah.
cannot expect a huge jump in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it is a small jump, but it should entail some changes, positive changes in
Mm.
yourself, and some amount of hard work from your side. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
And the targets need not always have to be in terms of rating or titles. You can just say, in 3 months I want to improve my attacking skills,
Mm-hmm.
or my defensive skills, or my end game skills, or in 6 months I want to be good attacking player.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have such targets as well, on which areas you want to get better.
Yeah. On that note, you are a strong proponent of not placing too much focus on ratings. You feel like it's unhealthy for the player. Could you explain a bit why?
Yeah, because for example, let's say, if I when we were very young children, we play hide and seek or running and catching, right? There was no aim.
Mm-hmm.
We played it for fun, right? And let's say if we are running and catching and we get caught, we lose in that game, but we don't want to go home after that loss. We want to continue playing the next game, next game, the next game. So we enjoy, by nature, we enjoy the process of participating, learning, competing. But what happens when things don't go our way, the results don't go the way we want? We tend to get upset. And then when we focus too much on the rewards,
Mm.
like the rating is a reward, right? If you play well, you get more rating. So if the rating and also the result, if you win, you get 1 point, if you lose, you get 0 point. So when we focus too much on the reward aspect, then we stop enjoying the process of learning, participating, competing. So, and only if you are fully able to participate wholeheartedly in this process of competing, you can actually grow stronger. So, uh, if we focus on the rating and the race results too much, even while preparing, we will be thinking in terms of result. maybe if I play this, it will only end in a draw, or how can I win in this position? So we avoid certain openings, certain type of positions. And similarly, when we are playing a game, when we get a bad position, we start thinking maybe I'm going to lose today. And when
Unhelpful, right?
you, yeah, and then we panic
Mm.
and we make mistakes and eventually end up losing.
Mm.
So our concentration will immediately be disturbed whenever we think more on the rewards. So it's better to have an aim and then focus more on the process.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are
Yeah.
playing in a tournament game, it's better to focus on
Yeah.
playing a good
Yeah.
game. And for this, so I would say instead of rating a result, we can have two healthier alternatives which will not put pressure on us. That is good effort from our side while playing a game. So I have to put good effort. So when I go to a tournament game, instead of thinking I have to win today, I should not lose today, a draw is good, instead of thinking along these terms, if I can tell myself my aim today in this game is I want to keep good concentration and put a very good effort
Mm-hmm.
at finding good moves and playing them.
Mm-hmm.
So here my expectancy is only on myself. I need to keep good concentration, put a good effort,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and if you can also add one more thing, which is to learn, because if you want to be a
Mm-hmm.
good player, you have to be a good learner, you have to be a good student who is very good at learning things from experience, whatever is happening to us, good or bad. We have to learn something useful which will make us better. So I'm going to put good effort in today's game, and I'm going to learn many good things about chess. So if you can go to a game with this kind of mindset, even in games we will lose, we can learn something good,
Mm.
right? And there you will feel you are not having as much pressure, and you'll have better chance of playing a better quality game.
I couldn't agree more. I'm thinking of myself as an example. So what we're saying is, so I'm trying to get grandmaster. I go and play a tournament, and maybe in the last round I can make a grandmaster norm. And let's say I lose the game, but I play a good game. I have good concentration and effort. What I should do is I should try and go away from the game feeling like that was good. Like I
Yes,
shouldn't be too
you should
disappointed.
not be too disappointed with that,
Yeah.
because if you ask any grandmaster, did they make three norms in three different tournaments and that's it? No, multiple times they would have failed, they would have come very close to making the norm and then it slips away. So it happens multiple times, and eventually they get the three norms. So it is a process, and it's not always going to be the way we want it to be, and things are not going to happen when we want them to happen in the way we want it to happen. So many unpleasant things, untimely things are going to happen, and the most important thing is we don't give up hope on ourselves. And the best thing is if you can learn something good even from such unpleasant experiences, that makes us stronger in the long run. So I see chess also as a tool to cultivate, nurture, build good, strong, healthy qualities in a human.
Great. Um, I want to talk a little bit about Prague, your star student. He's lighting the chess world on fire, and on top of that, he just seems like such a lovely guy as well. Whenever I see clips of him, he's so humble, he's so kind. Um, I guess what people don't see behind the scenes is some of the tough periods and the blood and tears, if you will, of the journey that you've had with him. So maybe you could share a little about some of the toughest moments or periods you've had through your many years of mentorship with him.
Yeah, so I started working with Prague when he was like 7.5 or 8 years old, and he was already a very strong player in the sense he was a world under 8 champion. So that's when I started working with him and his sister Vaishali. So she was also, I believe, under 10 world champion, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And both were extremely hardworking from a very young age. They were practicing almost 6 to 8 hours a day, sometimes even 10 hours, because they were not going to school on a daily basis. Because from a very young age, they were clear that they are reasonably good at chess because they were already world champions in
Mm.
their respective categories, and they believe uh, with the sustained focus and effort they could become eventual world champions. So they were very clear about their target from a very young age and extremely hardworking, and they have made a lot of sacrifices. I have seen personally, like where they live from our club, our academy, it's close to 1 to 1.5 hours of travel
Mhm.
one way.
They go every day?
Yeah, they used to come every day
Wow.
almost when they were
Okay.
not
So
playing in
so 2 hour
tournaments.
round trip, over
Yes,
2 hours.
yes, and they will come in the morning, and they will come in a two-wheeler with the parent,
Okay.
and
Uh,
sometimes it's raining
what's a
heavily,
two-wheeler? Sorry, like
so it's a motorbike.
uh-huh. Yeah.
So it helps. It just
But there's three of them, no? The parent drives them.
yes,
How do you fit
uh,
all three on one motorbike?
3 and 1 motorbike.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. They
and
don't they don't do that now, I guess.
not anymore. When they were very young.
Yeah.
So when they were very young kids, there was no good public transportation from their place to our location. So sometimes it's too hot, sometimes it's raining, and they come in the morning for the sessions, and then have lunch in our place and have dinner by 9 o'clock or so, and then they leave and reach home by 10:30. So it's a lot of hard work from the parent side as well, lot of sacrifices, and the children never complain. And the other good thing I've noticed is like when they finish a tournament, let's say they became national champion, national under 10 champion or whatever, the very next day they will come for the class. I've seen in recent times many children, they want to celebrate,
By taking a
to
break.
relax
Yeah.
or take some rest from chess. But for the Prag and Vaishali, chess itself is rest and relaxation for them.
Uh-huh.
So they love chess so much, and they
On
have
that
been.
note, is it okay to take a rest day? Because for me personally, after I play a big tournament and I fly back, the next day I'm probably dead.
Yeah, so for most of the things, there are no hard and fast rules.
Mhm.
Uh, how I see is like all these questions are very important,
Mhm.
but the answers are not very important. In the sense, I can give an example. Like one of my student, he was asking me, "Is it okay if I watch television during tournaments?"
Mhm.
And he was feeling guilty if he watched television during tournaments,
Mhm.
because I am not probably being serious or devoted,
Mhm.
like few other children who are not watching television during tournaments. And I said, like, why not do an experiment? So in the next tournament, try not to watch any television and see
Mhm.
how it goes. So he did not watch any tournaments. He played very well. Then he came back and said, like, now I understand I should not watch television during tournament because
Mhm.
I play very well. Then I said, let's see the other side of the coin as well. So the next tournament, you try to watch maybe half an hour to 1 hour of television every day and see how it goes. And he played well
Mhm.
after watching half
So
an hour or 1
it's
hour.
probably fine.
So then now he came back and asked the same question: should I watch television or not? So the question is important, but the answer is not. In the sense, you have to find your own path.
Mhm.
So, uh, so because these critical questions show that you are trying to understand yourself better, you are trying to mold your habits in a certain manner, whether you should watch TV or not watch TV. You are trying to find a solution to this question which is bothering you. But usually these are not the deciding factors that is going to decide whether you will perform well or not in a tournament. There are the other factor, many other factors. These are not the deciding factors. This is just a irrelevant minor issue,
Mhm.
but these minor issues, they are bothering us. So this is what happens with most players. They are too much worried about irrelevant minor issues
Mhm.
when they should be focusing on the really relevant issues.
Mhm.
So which is, I need to have good concentration, I need to have good confidence in myself. Small disappointments like I lost yesterday should not make me lose confidence in myself. I need to be able to carry on positively in the remaining games. So these are more relevant. How do I do this? If I lose a game, how can I see that um, I get disappointed, I get sad if I lose a game, which is fine and natural, but I don't start doubting myself. Whether you don't become a weak player in one day because of one loss,
Mhm.
you don't become a great player in one day because you win one game. So, as they say, form is temporary, but class is permanent.
Mhm. We had to cut the video yesterday because you're a very busy man, Ramesh. We're here with the American Gambits at the Global Chess League, and you are the captain for the American Gambits. Currently, the team has won 2 matches, lost 3 matches. It's a very tough field. All of the top players are playing. We've got Nakamura, Duda, and Yang Yi. I'm here as the translator and second of Yang Yi. And then with the women's boards, we've got Bibisara, women's Blitz world champion, and Pates, Elizabeth Pates, who has a lot of experience. And then our prodigy is Jonas Bierre. So in theory, we have a strong team, and it's going okay. We're in contention for top two. How do you feel the team spirits are, and I guess how do you feel your role can really help the team as the captain?
Okay, so regarding the composition of the team, it's a balanced team, and we have to make with what we have. So there's no point in getting into the merits and demerits of the value of the team, the player strength, and so on. And having said that, it's I initially felt before the tournament that the tournament could be very tough for us because some other teams looked on paper to be better than us, better composed. But having seen the first 5 games, it feels like we are actually in a better position in compared with some of our competitors who are fighting for the second place, because Pets, who had some struggle initially, has recovered well. In the last 2 games, she has won both the games and against a decent opposition. So she will be in a good frame of mind, hopefully. And Duda has been getting good position in almost every game he plays. And in the game he lost, he made a blunder and collapsed the position against Wei. And even in that game, he was having a much better position. So his game quality has in general been very good, and he played a very good game against Arjun, which ended in a draw yesterday. And also Hikaru, he has been raising his game level, game to game. He is playing much better. So Duda, Hikaru, and Elizabeth, they have been getting better with each game. Um, with Bierre, he has been playing very high quality chess as well. And yesterday it was very unfortunate. From a better position, it became equal, and then he became worse and lost the game. That can happen to anyone under pressure. But if we leave out the final round result of Bere, he has been playing quite well as well. So most of our players and the UA has been extremely solid on board three. So there is no particular player that we need to worry about. And Bibisara, she lost 3 games. That's a cause for concern, but not because of her game quality, which has been pretty decent, except last round loss where she was kind of unrecognizable. But the other 2 losses, she was in fact winning or clearly better, and then she still managed to lose those 2 games. So if Bibisara also comes back into form, I think we are in a good position, because other teams, there are some clear weaknesses on certain boards, and we can, if we are in good form, we can exploit that to our advantage.
Yeah, this tournament's quite unique because of the team format, but also the time control is 20 minutes with no increment, and that gives a lot of time pressure. People aren't used to playing without increment, and there's been some controversies. Maybe you can share a bit about the game, the sort of draw off a rule, and sort of your opinion on it.
Yeah, so the current rule says, like, if you have a winning position, and more importantly, sometimes the win can be very difficult to find. The computer may give +7 because it has seen a very clear win, which is very impossible for a human to see. We are not talking about such winning position, but more to the point is when opponent has no proper winning methods. In a normal game, he should not be able to win. In such situations, if I have less than 2 minutes on my clock, I have the option to pass the clock and call the arbiter and claim a draw, because I don't have enough time on my clock to execute all my moves. So in that case, if the opponent arbiter feels the opponent doesn't have any good chances to play for a win, the position is lost, he can avoid the draw, which is what happened in the game between Nihal versus Dada. And there was an appeal against this decision, but the rule is quite clear on this.
Has the appeal failed already?
Yes.
Oh, it's
Yes,
failed.
a decision has been taken.
Okay, it's very interesting because Magnus was very upset about it because it meant his team lost a crucial match, right?
Yes.
So the wording in the rule, it's a very old rule actually, because
Yes,
previously
because we don't
everybody
it's a old
played
time
without
control as
increment.
well.
Exactly, but everybody forgot about it because now we all play with increment.
Yeah.
So the wording is if your opponent is not able to win by normal means, you can claim a draw. But there is little bit of a gray area there, right? Because in the
Yes.
game between Sarin and Dada, sure, Sarin was up a bishop in an endgame, bishop and rook versus rook, and there was a couple pawns. But is there an argument that Dada could win by normal means, or is it that
Yeah, there is.
yeah.
In this case, I would say no. That he, in a normal case, he can play for a win. That can happen only when opponent is in time trouble or he makes an unexpected blunder.
Yeah, I suppose the position is so simplified, right? That
Yes.
you're not going to win
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um,
There is also this ambiguity where it is left to the interpretation of the arbiter.
there is some gray area
Yes,
for
there
sure.
are some gray areas, and this also was raised in the meeting with the arbiters today, and they'll be taking it to the FIDE Arbiter Commission and try to address these issues.
Yeah.
But there will always be some gray areas in most of the rules, I would say.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Another topic. The other day, you brought myself and a number of the players to the gym. How's your back doing, by the way?
Not really good.
Still
I should
not
say
good.
it's getting better. But I try to do some stuff which Bibi Sara was teaching you guys, and for my age and my back condition, it did not
Just for the
work
guys
out well.
back home, Bibisara is a rhythmic gymnast,
Yeah.
and she was doing like
Yes.
cartwheels, somersaults, and then I was like, oh, we should try this, and I went to try, failed miserably, and I egged Ramesh on to try, and Ramesh tried. You actually did probably the best out of all of us. But
Did I?
the next day in the elevator, he told me I can't move my back.
Yeah, the whole night I couldn't sleep. Back then, it did not have any immediate impact, but
it's getting better though, right?
it's getting
Yeah,
better.
okay.
Hopefully in a day or
As
two.
long as I haven't crippled the world's top trainer, okay. But on that topic, how important do you feel is physical conditioning for chess players?
I remember distinctly when I was very young, the top players in India, not just in India, but even otherwise, rest of the world, I could see they had big pot bellies. They
Oh,
were
wow.
terribly out of
Trust
shape,
me.
and it was considered very normal. And typically, they used to have one round per day, and you did not have computers, so you don't prepare much for the games back then. So we probably will prepare half an hour for the game. That's it, because we may have one or two books with us. We can't carry much information, they're so heavy. So it's practically impossible to prepare for your opponent. And so what players usually do, they drink the whole night, play some card games, get up late and directly come to the game. So it was very unhealthy lifestyle, I would say. And the players were not very fit.
But they got away
Most
with
of the
it.
players, and they could get away with it because the others were in a similar situation. And also the game was not as complex as it is now. In the sense, earlier if you play a 9-round tournament, at least for the first 3 rounds you won't have any tough time. You know that you're going to win.
Nowadays,
and probably we will win in very short time. The opponent will just blunder in the first 10-15 moves, and in a few more moves we will win the game. In half an hour most of the boards will be empty for the first 3 games, because the lower rated players, they will not play good quality chess. But now even 1600 or 1700 of today will not make silly blunders.
That's because you're coaching all of them.
No, access to information. Everyone has computers, books, easy to learn now, much in comparison to the past. But nowadays the level of opposition, the general playing strength has improved considerably, and as a result we are not finding basic mistakes. And in every game, if you are playing a 9-round tournament, you have to fight most likely in all the 9 games. And it can be, and nowadays everyone has computers with them, so they have the information, so everyone is preparing a lot before the game, which was not the case earlier. So you play a 4 to 6 hour game, and then before that you are preparing maybe 3 to 4 hours. So it's basically like close to 10 hours of chess every day. And after 5-6 days, this can already become too much, because not just the physical strain part, but also emotionally you are going through a roller coaster. And if you have had some tough moments, it can really drain you. drain your energy,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last few rounds the player will not be able to perform at their peak. So it's very important we give more attention not just to the technical aspects of the game, how well we play chess, but also to the emotional aspects and also to the energy levels of the player. They should be well rested, have a good night's sleep every day, and you should be in a peak condition, fitness to, especially in the last three games, I would say. Rather than the battery draining, your battery should be
Right.
full
Right.
in the last three rounds. And that means you also require to be in good physical shape, exercise, and healthy diet.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I used to do when I was a player, I used to work out in the morning and then play the game in the afternoon. But then I was not performing well because I'm already getting tired because of the physical exertion, and then the preparation, 3 hour preparation, and then the game. So I'm already quite tired by then. So it's the physical activity can be done after the game. So that way you also let out the stress that has built in your system during the game. So when you work out, it can just be a long walk or any sport, or you can hit the gym. Any of this activity I would recommend.
Yeah. We need to follow your example. The guys at home don't know this, but yesterday we had a pull-up competition, and Ramesh was banging out pull-ups. I think you did like 10. Like,
Yeah, I don't know, 8 to 10 probably.
yeah,
Yes.
I was super impressed. Like, amazing. But yeah, hope your back gets better soon. Okay. I'd like to be selfish for a moment and ask for some personal advice. So I'm trying to get Grandmaster. I'm going to follow all of your advice on working hard in terms of the training, the sort of different methods of training, cultivating the passion, trying to improve my psychology, not to focus on the rating and the result, but rather on the effort. Um, is there anything else that you think I can really incorporate into my training and approach for this sort of next 1 year that I've given myself?
So I would say, like you rightfully summarized the key elements. One is, as I mentioned, the three things: the physical part, the mental part, and the chess part. So the physical part, lead a healthy lifestyle, eat healthy food, good sleep. So food, sleep, and exercise. This is the physical part. So we need to take care of these three. And the mental part, there are two ways to put it. For example, if I have a table in front of me, now if I don't add any dirt to the table will still get dirty by itself because of nature. Some dust will settle. After 5 years, if we open this room, it will be full of cobwebs, dirt settled over a period of time. It will eventually anyway get dirty. So the process of accumulating dirtiness is ongoing process. And the second thing is, I contribute to this. I leave some papers, tissues, and then it gets dirty faster, right? So in hotels we can see people come and clean the table every day. That's why it remains clean, not because no one puts dirt on it. Someone is cleaning this and keeping it clean. So the same way our mind, one, even if we don't add negativity to the mind, the negativity is accumulating as a natural process, because we live in a world where we move with other people, and there is the environmental factor. So there will always be some negativity. And we driving a car, there is a red signal, right? Immediately we become negative without us realizing, oh, I have to wait for some time, right? So this negativity is gradually accumulating every day. And the second is, we add more negativity to the system. For example, if I lose my game, I keep thinking, oh, how can I play such a bad game? How can I miss this simple calculation? Oh, I'm so bad at
I'm
this,
stupid.
right? I'm
Like,
stupid.
yeah.
So when we do this more and more, we are just adding more tissues, papers to the table. It gets dirty faster. So the point is, who is going to do the cleaning? Right? In a hotels, someone will come and clean the table for you, but who is going to do the cleaning in your mind? So all the activity negativity that is gradually accumulating, and the faster ones in lumps which we are adding. This needs to be cleaned as well. Otherwise, what happens? It's like it kind of blocks the clogs the system, and you will not be able to perform efficiently. So we were always like hyper or tense, nervous, and so on, negative. So generally, that's why if people believe in meditation, they should consider learning it properly and doing it regularly. You will not find the impact immediately, but over a period of time, you will see it does have a huge impact, uh, where we are able to deal with the negative emotions in a much better way. Now, how does this help in the game? Like, for example, if I have a slightly worse position, or sometimes the position is perfectly fine, but I don't like the position and I may think I'm worse. So, when I get this feeling, then I may start panicking. Oh my God, I'm going to lose today, probably. And my opponent is a better player than me, right? And I have a bad position. And yesterday I lost. Already my rating is dropping down. So, you keep adding more thoughts to a perfectly normal position, and then when lot more negativity is added, we start panicking, and then the concentration is lost, we make mistakes, and we will eventually lose
Yeah,
the
I
game.
find it's worse for me when I feel like my last move was a bad move.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
That's
tough to, it's a difficult moment. Like I have seen in an interview where Vishy Anand said one of the difficult moments for a chess player during the game is when you realize you have just made a mistake, and to recover from that is not very easy.
But you need to
So
clean it out.
yeah,
Clean
so
out the
basically we have to understand